set up games, bowlers win you those respective matches. For Shubman Gill, one thing was absolutely clear before the beginning of the second test, that he wanted his bowlers to take those 20 wickets, and that towards the end turned out to be a crucial thing for India. That was not so much the case in the Leeds test, but now they have managed to done it, and they have managed to make sure that there is parity in the 5-match series against England. India have won the Edgbaston test rather comprehensively by a margin of 336 runs. First win for Shubman Gill as India's full-time test captain, and also a great match for him in which he scored over 400 odd runs. Special mention to Akash Deep. In fact, not a special mention. He was the one who turned out to be the real match winner for India in this test. A 10-wicket haul for Akash Deep. He was literally the one who troubled the England batters with his swing and accuracy. And also for Mia Bhai, Mohammad Siraj, when the ace of the Indian bowling attack was absent, he was the one who made sure that he became the ace, took a 6-wicket haul in the second innings, took the important wicket of Zach Crawley, and towards the end it has turned out to be a completely dominating performance by the Indian cricket team.
What a performance. I had said that you are going to see the tea session. It should have been tea. But you will see the post-match, and I have been proven right on that aspect. And what a win. 336 run win. It doesn't get any bigger than this after losing the unlosable test at Leeds. You have won for the very first time in Edgbaston. Fortress Edgbaston has crumbled.
Any Asian team has done it for the very first time.
Is it? No,
yeah.
Even Pakistan has never won at Edgbaston.
There was a family member of ours during the during the previous show that we did who pointed out that no Asian team has ever won it.
So India have done the unthinkable. They have managed to breach the fortress of Edgbaston, but it is a fortress no more for England. And yes, Shubman Gill with 430 runs. Akash Deep with his first 10-wicket haul. In fact, the first 10-wicket haul taken at Edgbaston by an Indian bowler since Chetan Sharma.
That's, I think, almost 40 years now.
40 years
almost,
ago, yes.
yeah.
Yes, 1986. Mohammad Siraj with 6 wickets, Ravindra Jadeja with 89, then you also had him score another 50 in the second innings, Yashasvi Jaiswal with 87, KL Rahul with a 50 in the second innings. What more could you ask for? And all the talk about late declaration, late all this, 336, okay? Minus that, how much did they get? Less than 280. That's why 484 you could have managed to win not by 336, you would have won by 40 runs, 50 runs, but a win is a win. And that is why England will have to look themselves in the mirror, because they were undone by 2 bowlers in the first innings. Here Akash Deep set them up with 6 for 99. Go down further. You have to go down a bit further. Yeah. Yep. Go down further, because I'm looking at the last innings, okay? Yep, 6 for 99, and everybody else. Siraj took 1 wicket, Prasid took 1 wicket, look at the economy rate, Ravindra Jadeja took 1 wicket, Washington Sundar took 1 wicket, and because of that, a comprehensive win for Team India, and they have done it without Jasprit Bumrah.
I mean, when you look at it, you needed about 52 odd overs today to get rid of the remaining 7 wickets of England, and that just explains a lot about this Indian bowling, and that also I think puts one thing into discussion, that whatever happened in the Leeds test, I think it was just an aberration for the bowlers, because what they have shown this time around is that this Indian attack clearly has the quality. Akash Deep and Mohammad Siraj, yes, they did most of the job in the first innings. In fact, they were the ones who did all the job in the first innings.
For the bowling or for the fielding? Because you dropped 9 catches,
no,
9 catches fielding itself. Gulati said those 9 catches would have been taken and the game would have gone India's way. There would have been no doubts on that in that sense. If you remember, Harry broke, lots of catches were dropped.
Yashasvi Jaiswal
dropped a total of 5 catches. So I think India, that test match also, it was a game that India had to lose because of themselves, and they managed to do that. Otherwise, today just there could have been a very good possibility that today over here sitting we would have been talking about sealing the Test series, going in Lords and having Bumrah back as well. So it could have been a very, very good position where India would have been. But in this Test match, justice has been served in that sense, and India are well and truly back into this Test series.
I think obviously, there'll be many aspects that, we'll discuss over this an hour long or 1.5 hour long discussion, whatever the time is today. But I think the thing that I started with, a famous quote that we have in cricket, that batters set up games, bowlers win you matches. There were obviously doubts about India's declaration. Was it too much delayed? There was a lot of rain. We both were discussing in the live that has Shubman Gill made the mistake. In fact, I was the one who said that, India have delayed their declaration. But I think the idea to bat England out of this contest, it turned out to be literally a masterstroke, because the point is that you did not really just make a massive hit on England's so-called Bazball approach, but I think you also had one of their assistant coaches coming to the press conference in Marcus Trescott and saying this thing, that draw is a good option for us. And this is very unlike this England cricket team. That's something that we have seen in the last 3 years.
See, I will not buy this theory that, you wanted to totally bat England out with 608, okay? You had the luxury of time, in hindsight now. But then I was still critical, and I'm still critical of it now. You should have declared at 484, because see, that is an attacking mindset. You're now going to wax lyrical on all the bowlers, isn't it? But there is a reason why 484, and anything above that has never been chased in the history of the sport. I mean, look at it. Today, you couldn't get run scoring. Run scoring became difficult. I mean, you tried, today you wanted 68 overs, 271. How much is that? Hardly about 4, just over 4.
And even the ball started to turn quite a lot. Jadeja and Washington Sundar, both of them were really, really turning the ball all throughout the day. I think on many occasions they were unlucky. A couple of catches were also dropped on the slip cordon. One dropped on the leg slip. And one was dropped by Shubman Gill also. On leg slip, it just dropped short. Yeah. So lots of chances were created. The England batters, I think, as soon as the ball started to turn and as soon as you put spinners in front of them across formats, they absolutely have no clue. Until and unless, I mentioned this previously as well, the wicket is really, really flat and the ball is not doing even this much. Only then is the time when they absolutely bat out the opposition.
See, Bazball's range is 290 to 390. Beyond that, they'll have to defy every convention that Test cricket is built upon. See, Test cricket is called Test cricket because it needs application and thought. You are playing a marathon like a T20, because it can take one session, it can take 2 sessions to change the entire course of the Test match. It can happen. Here, India avoided 2 basic things. One, they avoided a cluster collapse. Neither innings you see, 587 and 427, neither innings saw them collapse. And that is why they mounted large totals. The tail wagged, the depth wagged, and that is why you're seeing now that this Indian cricket team has reaped on the benefits of rather controversially what happened in the BGT. But BGT, the conditions were different. Here, the conditions are like a shirt front. You needed batters, you needed bowlers to ensure that this happened, but yes, you cannot sweep things under the carpet. There are flaws. But you're won despite the flaws. And that is why the other team ensured self-destruction. 5 for 84, 5 for 20. No, I'm not talking about India, I'm talking about England. 5 for 84 and 5 for 20. That's why 6 ducks, despite that you scored 407. That's how extreme this England cricket team is. India, look at the stat. 9 sessions of dominance, only 1. Second session, day 3. That was the only thing outrightly won by England. Otherwise, 9 sessions of dominance, 1 session won by India, England, 1 session was shared. That is how this has been, and that is why I'm sorry. England outplayed, outmaneuvered, outconditioned, outbowled, outbatted, outbasballed. They have a hit wicket at this moment. So that's why This is a fantastic win, and England are in a catch-22. Total catch-22, which we will dwell upon much later. But then let's talk about the man of the moment, Akash Deep. I mean, what an impression he made in the first test in Ranchi when he made his debut. Was denied a no ball. His maiden wicket was denied by a no ball. Then, no problem. I won't take catches. I'll blast each and every one of them out by hitting the stumps. Today, look at how many bowls he's got in this entire match out of 10. I think half of his wickets are bowled, if I'm not mistaken. More than half. Can we just go up? Okay, I got this 6. Okay, I've gotten these 6 wickets that I've got. This one was a catch. Definitely. The last wicket that went up right in cars. Bowled Akash Deep, bowled Akash Deep, bowled Akash Deep.
3 out of the 6.
3 out of the 6, half here and up. When he took 4 wickets, I think 3 were bowled there also. No. 3.
Just Siraj got
just Brook. Just Brook and that's it. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 were bowled. What a line, what a length, what a spell he bowled each and every time. He was the guy who looked like taking wickets most of the time. He set up the game for Mohammad Siraj in the first innings. I mean, look at it. 2 wickets. He got Pope and Duckett cheaply. He then broke the Brook-Smith partnership. And then here he set
And he
up the
hasn't
game.
only become the second Indian to take a 10-wicket haul in Edgbaston. Second Indian ever to take 10 wickets in whole England.
Yes.
It was just Chetan Sharma previously who did it, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
1986. Now it's Akash Deep. And I think tremendous bowling. I think very smartly he has used the conditions. He realized that there is no
Specifically
swing.
the crease.
The crease, not just the crease, also the way he's bowling, the way he's sort of maneuvered his plans. He's used the seam a lot. And I think that is something that I thought was really, really smart of him to do.
It was. I mean, look at it. You don't need banana swing. You needed smart bowling. Look at how the England bowlers bowl. 2 short, 2 wide, 2 full. Akash Deep just in that channel outside off. Not 7-degree movement, not 17-degree movement. 0.2, 0.31 per degree of movement. Just here, just there. Yeah, the Brook wicket of the first innings, it hit a crack and it came back in. That was, I think, the delivery of the match for me. To dismiss a well-set Harry Brook, who was having a 300-run stand with Jamie Smith. To get that, I think, for me, that was the turning point. That was the turning point of this test match, that yes, India have a firm grip on it. Because
Was that the turning point, or was it day before yesterday? Was it day before yesterday, right? When India stopped batting, it was yesterday evening.
it was that
And
day.
Ben Duckett getting out on that delivery, I think that was also a turning point.
But I think for me, with 303, you are nearing partnership. Partnership was there. India had run out of ideas. You needed one particular moment to change that game. And I think after that, when Brook in particular, the delivery pitched outside off, cut back in of that crack, knocked the off pole out. It didn't just clip it, it knocked it off. England were done, and that's why you see 5 for 20. 5 wickets fell. India then only had to pile on the agony, and that is why Gill, 269, 161, 430 runs, he killed England off. 6 wickets here. And that is why, looking at it, 11 for 1, 30 for 2, and in the second innings, the delivery to get rid of Joe Root. England was sealed. Their fate was sealed. 2 deliveries of Akash Deep that changed the entire course of the game. More than this, in the 4th innings, you had to fear a Joe Root hanging in. But he got him out, angling in, straightened, knocked off stump out. Harry Brook, wide the crease, cut back in, off stump gone. Those 2 deliveries by Akash Deep for me testify that yes, his accuracy was rewarded. Whatever runs he got probably came off edges. Not slogs. Okay, once or twice he slid down the leg side, he was punished. But then look at it, 6 for 99, 4.7, and doesn't matter economy rate. He's got 6 for 99. I'm taking it. Which is why for me, again, the question has been posed over and over again. Akash Deep 10 wickets or Shubman Gill 430 runs.
We'll come to know about that very soon now.
But I think now my pick is Akash Deep. See, on this kind of a track, I understand that, scoring a 200 and 100 in the second innings, it is a monumental effort. No wonder he's only the second Indian and I think the 9th overall to do so. First
He's
one,
the
obviously.
first batter ever in the history of the game to score a 250 and a 150.
Yeah, and obviously, he's only the one after SMG, Sunil Manohar Gavaskar, to do so.
For India.
But
and technically the second to it 150 plus in all innings.
But if you ask me, what was more difficult to do so in this kind of a match, to achieve this kind of a feat, or Akash Deep's 10-wicket haul, I think equally difficult. It's a very, very tough call for me, but I'm going to go with Akash Deep because he was the one who provided you with the breakthroughs when India needed it. It's as simple as
I'd
that.
personally still give it to Shubman Gill. And the only reason for that is I think there is a recency bias about Akash Deep as well, because we've just seen it and we've won a test match over there. But with what Shubman Gill did, I think that is something that, I think this was the kind of knock that we will look back at many, many years down the line. And then we will talk about the fact that Akash Deep also took 10 wickets in that game. Whenever we remember this test match, it will be remembered for Shubman Gill and what he did. And this is just the logic I am applying. I think what the logic whoever will decide that man of the match as well, and just cricketing logic as well, I'm just equating one 5-wicket haul is equal to 100. So Akash Deep has taken 10 wickets. That is equal to a double 100. Shubman Gill has actually gone on and scored another 150 apart from the double 100. So just in all senses, it just makes more sense to give it to Shubman Gill.
I plus one him because his 269 set up the game. India were not going to look back after that. Because see, you got a 87 from Jaiswal, you got a 89 from Jadeja, you got a 42 from a Sundar. None of the others chipped in. I mean, barring a Brook and a Smith, no one even came close to Shubman Gill's 269. No one. Jamie Smith 184, I agree. Audacious, brilliant knock.
Almost got 100 in the second innings also.
Almost
James
got it.
Smith, yeah.
Would he have been the first keeper to score? Pant after Pant.
Pant is
after
right.
Pant has obviously
first
done.
England keeper, I would say. Or
Absolutely.
Maybe Stewart. Maybe Alex Stewart did that.
No, I don't think so. Alex Stewart has.
I think he
done
has.
it.
I think he has.
Not Matt Pryor. Definitely not Joss Butler.
I think it is Alex
not
Stewart.
Bairstow.
But see,
Yeah.
Gill's 269 ensured that India had a massive
And
total.
Gill is the player of the match.
Yes. Because it made sense. Because see, his 269 laid a platform for 587. But then his knock in the second innings, 161, absolutely killed England off. Yes, I will still be critical of the fact that, come on, you had 100, you had all this, you could have declared. You are never chasing down 484 or 500 even if you have 150 overs. It can't be done because the wicket is deteriorating, the conditions are changing, everything is changing. How on earth can you chase? This wasn't a typical shirt front that was there. Unlike the Gaba of 2016 or unlike any other wickets that were there. Yeah. Gill's 2 knocks ensured that India couldn't be at the receiving end of a Bazball onslaught. Sure, now they'll say, oh, we wanted to keep the ball new, we wanted to keep everything in that, but still, with 484, boss, you almost won the game. You're done with the game at this point in time. And that is why, see, India have won thanks to Shubman Gill's 269 and 161, 430 runs. We all told you the record. Never ever has an Indian batter scored over 400 runs in a test match. Yeah. In history, it's never happened. Sunil Gavaskar was the only Indian to score 100 and 200. You have Gill. It was a superhuman effort from him. Captaincy also, he ensured that the bowling changes were done. Siraj, Akash Deep, whatever they wanted, they managed to ensure that they got the wickets. So that's why fittingly Shubman Gill deserves the man of the match. And that's why 269, 161. But then a word on Akash Deep. We were hailing his development. He had a personal tragedy. That is why he had to go through the hard way. But then 10 wickets at Edgbaston. His redemption is complete and 101% we can say with assurance, your bowling lineup, pace bowling lineup for Lords is Bumrah, Siraj, Akash Deep.
I think in case of Akash Deep, I would really not even want to, call him Akash Deep light, to be very honest.
Shami light.
Yeah, Shami light. Sorry, Shami light.
He is Akash Deep. Who can be lesser than him? I don't know.
But even if it may be a compliment that most of us have given to him at Sports Today, but I would actually say that this is basically the coming of Akash Deep. This is the spell. This is the match wherein you can say that Akash Deep has actually arrived to international cricket. What happened in the series against England And even in BGT, you had, those kind of shades that AkashDeep has the making of a good bowler. He's someone who actually has age on his side, can probably, fitness permitting, he can finish with a good amount of 250 odd wickets, for India, or even more in Test cricket. I think what this has done is that it has actually shown a different side to AkashDeep. This was the kind of pitch wherein he did not really have any much assistance from the surface at all. He literally had to back his strengths, literally had to back the fact that there's only going to be a little bit of swing here or some kind of seam movement. He got that, and overall, if he can take a total of 10 wickets in this match, then imagine what he can do when the surface is a green one. And that's where I really feel that England going with these kind of flat and fast tracks, it's probably going to take the test matches to 5 days, and then towards the end it's going to be down to the fact that who comes out to be the good team. But I don't think that England can actually afford to make green tracks, because they know that Indian bowlers are going to be head and shoulders ahead of them. But coming back to AkashDeep point, I think he has truly arrived to the international scene. One thing with AkashDeep is clear, that he can do well with the new ball. He has obviously opened the bowling for India, in this match. He was the one who began the innings. Taking a total of 10 wickets is a superlative, it's a superhuman effort, to be very honest, on these kind of tracks that are pretty much similar to the national highways of Pakistan that you were referring to. So great spell for him, and I'm sure that this has basically guaranteed him a place for the remaining 4 matches. Although he was remaining 3 matches, for that matter. He clearly said it in one of the post-day press conferences, that I'm not sure whether I'm going to play any of the remaining matches or not, but my job is to be ready. Something that these media trained people usually say. But the kind of trend that we have seen in this Indian cricket team in the past 8 to 10 matches or so, even after a good performance, you may not be assured of a place in the 11. I think this 10 wicket haul should make sure that he is assured of a place at least in the next 10 odd matches.
I think absolutely tremendous. I just hope that he continues this knack of picking wickets. We saw Australia, he wasn't that lucky, and I think he's a very why I think he's not going to be that injury prone, and why I also think that Mohammad Siraj also isn't that injury prone despite being a workhorse. The reason for that is both of them have really clean and smooth actions. Both of them aren't kind of the bowlers who will have too much load.
Although Shami's actions also clean and smooth.
But Mohammad Shami, I feel the reason also could be the weight that he carries with him, as in the body weight that he has. When you are a little on the heavier side or on the bulkier side, in that sense, at times your body, your joints, your back, your knee, your ankle, all of this cannot take that load. But with Mohammad Siraj and AkashDeep, I feel they're so smooth, and they're it just feels so smooth naturally, and it looks like that they cannot undergo injury. Like with Jasprit Bumrah, we know that shoulder and lower back are problems, and which could become problems for him. These were the chats that were there at the beginning of his career itself as well. So AkashDeep, if he continues to keep this knack of picking wickets like he has done in this series, I think he could be a very good prospect for India in red ball cricket at least. White ball, I'm not too sure about the fact that how good he can be in white ball, because we saw him in the IPL. He did not have a great time. He was dropped also on a couple of occasions, or rested, whatever you say, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, red ball cricket, he's somebody who's really, he really knows the lines and lengths. He's really equipped to bowl in Test cricket, and I think that is something that India has finally sort of found out.
For me, the egg never tasted better. I mean, in Ranchi,
there was something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, okay, if he doesn't take wickets, then I would have had to eat my words. Okay, and he took 3, so I had to have. The bet was I had to have 3 raw eggs.
And then you had it.
And I had 3 raw eggs, and it tasted good. It tasted very, very well indeed. So that's why you can just ensure that, yeah. Thank you, AkashDeep, for making me taste those eggs much better. It certainly was great. But yeah, I mean, coming back to, I had already waxed lyrical about AkashDeep being this great X factor in Edgbaston for one simple reason. The line, the lengths that he bowled on a consistent basis is the key reason why AkashDeep did this. And that's why fantastic effort indeed when I look back at it.
But first words from Harshit. Tremendous win. What do you feel about Akash Deep?
I have a little piece of news for you guys, unless you tracked it. Shubman Gill, of the many things that he said, he's very pleased with his own performance and a historic India win. He's also given us a confirmation, not like we needed one, but he's confirmed that Jasprit Bumrah will definitely be playing at Lords.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
The little joke we had upstairs when that question was asked by Nasir Hussain during the presentation ceremony, are we going to see Jasprit Bumrah at Lords? He said, definitely. And we were glad that he stopped right there and didn't say,
no.
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. Well, yes, that's another major thing. Yes, confirmed from Shubman Gill in about 3 days' time, because I'm not counting the day it starts. 3 days turnaround. Jassi is back for Lords.
He had to be.
He had to be. He will play test number 3. He will play test number 4.
You
Five,
have to,
five.
you have to play him at Manchester. It's as simple as that. Even if these are sunny conditions, you still have to play him because the ball swings throughout the day.
But you
in
need
Manchester.
Jasprit Bumrah when the ball is not swinging. You need him to extract something when conditions are absolutely flat. Like this test match could have been won.
Yeah, but see, this test match you've seen Akash Deep and Siraj do the necessary things. I mean, Akash Deep's taken 10, Siraj has taken 7, and the rest of the bowling has taken 3 wickets apiece. Prasidh with 1, Ravindra Jadeja with 1, Washington Sundar getting the big wicket of Ben Stokes. I thought if Ben Stokes had hung around, we could have not had the show today, which is why I boasted that at 9:40 instead of tea, we will be having the post-match.
Stokes
debate.
is no more the batter that he used to be. Look at his average in the last 13, 14
Don't tell the
matches.
Aussies that. Don't tell them
Yeah.
that, because he might have something special only against them. He doesn't do it
Boss,
against
he has
us.
only, heard them in his own conditions. You talk about Ben Stokes, the batter in Australian conditions.
bad, yeah.
Terrible to say the least.
He's a clutch
That's it.
player. We cannot take that away.
No, he is not a clutch player.
Gulati
I
sir,
think
2 clutch, most clutch occasions.
I'll tell you something, and this is one example that
That's been too hard.
No, I'll tell you something. This is one thing that someone pinpointed to me, and this guy is actually a very well-known figure in our industry. Although he was a well-known figure, now he works somewhere else. You
Used to work here.
No, in this industry, I'm saying a very calculative mind, for that matter. In the 100-odd test matches that Ben Stokes has played, you look at his match-winning performances, and the sample size would actually come out to be about 3 or 4 in those, at max 5. Okay, you talk about Hardik Pandya's test career, which was about 9 or 10 matches old, and in those matches, his match-winning performances were close to 3 or 4, including a 5-wicket haul at Trent Bridge in 2018. I'm not comparing both of them because in terms of fitness, Stokes definitely is head and shoulders above of Hardik Pandya. But you look at the impact, I can tell you one thing very honestly, in a very short career, in a very short test career, Hardik Pandya is notches above Ben Stokes.
That's harsh here.
In Test cricket, you're saying?
I'm not talking about fitness, and I can understand, people who are watching this, they might just bash me for the fact that how can you compare Hardik Pandya, the test cricketer, to Ben Stokes, the test cricketer. One has played over 100 odd matches, the other hardly played 10, is probably retired from, test cricket for that matter. He may not even play test cricket ever again. But you look at if you have to look at the impact, in a very short career, Hardik Pandya, he delivered about 3 to 4 match-winning performances of the 10-odd test matches that he played. You talk about Ben Stokes, and there are a handful of performances that he has given, including the 135-odd that he played against Australia. I think that 1-wicket win. I cannot remember the venue.
Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds. And a few others. But apart from that, I think he has been terribly inconsistent as a batter. That's the only thing that I'll say.
That's quite harsh here. Well, we'll come to that.
That's not my assessment. That's an assessment that was conveyed to me by someone. So that's the point.
See, that is the thing. Jasprit Bumrah is back for Lords, and I think we have a bowling lineup then. I don't know about the second spinner bit, but then my bowling lineup is, without a shadow of doubt, Jassi, DSP, Shamilite, and Jaddu.
I think you're just going to make one change because you're not considering Washington Sundar as your second spinner, but rather than you're considering him as another batting option.
No, I think you will persist with Washi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'll have just one change
Maybe
in Bumrah.
if the pitch is aiding more bowling, then I think Shardul in, Nitish out.
No. Nitish, I don't see him getting dropped.
If it's aiding bowling in Lords, then I think Shardul in, Nitish out. And I think the rest of the bowling remains the same. I think Kuldeep will have to wait until Oval. I would honestly say that Kuldeep will have to wait until Oval to get it.
Looks like it.
At this
Manchester, nowhere is he playing.
yeah, that is the thing. So yes, great stuff. And Shubman Gill indeed was named the player of the match and all that thing.
It's difficult to argue when you score 430 runs.
And also the situation. His 269 with 587 on the board. England would have to need something superhuman. And that didn't happen.
I wasn't here with you guys yesterday, but I'm sure a large part of the discussion must have been devoted to whether in 24 hours time we'll be talking about India having overplayed in the second innings, or was the declaration perfectly timed?
Swept under the carpet. Swept under the carpet, because see, India have won, but look at the margin, 336.
See, exactly. The way so the fact that India picked those 3 wickets yesterday at stumps, close to stumps, it was, you knew that you will probably be talking about this will not probably come up for discussion because India paved the way for a win. But had those wickets not come, that would have been the biggest talking point.
Exactly.
Now it's not going to garner that much attention.
It won't, because see, but then I will still say this, okay? With 484, there is a reason why you're not chased 450 in Test cricket ever. Look at the conditions, look at the way how the pitch is. It's almost gotten over 200 to 300 overs. It's not like the 90s Ketarama where you needed 952, you would still be scoring runs. This is England. There's a reason why it crumbles. It's been baking under the sun for 4 days. Today was the only one session where you had rain. But apart from that, 450 plus has never been chased in the history of Test cricket. What it showed, I mean, I think it was because of the bowling composition. My criticism still remains. 484 runs. Declare, yaar. Declare and show the intent. We don't care about your Bazball. Your Bazball is nothing but a big delusion. Survive. Try and survive. And look, they got all out for 271. So instead of 336, you would have won by 215 runs. Big deal. 484 runs, that's it. You should have shut the door. You're already shut the door.
What is it that you guys felt?
I personally felt that it was extended a little too much. I think 500 could have been where you could have said 500, 520 for me was when we had the discussion where I said that you could have declared maybe 600. It really didn't make sense. But I think what Nikhil sir also pointed out yesterday, and I think that made a little more sense, that was that maybe it's not about the runs, it's about how much time you want to give them. Maybe you did not want to give them that much time, that there would have been a possibility of them going and chasing. You wanted to give them as much less time as possible so that there is no possibility of them winning the game at all. And I think that was something that India did as well.
I think first of all it doesn't matter because now India have won, but I think India batted for 10 more overs, I feel, because anywhere around 520 or 530, as you know what Shashwat said, that was enough. You literally did not even need to score the remaining 70 to 80 odd runs. 520, 530 was enough. I think maybe if you would have had England bat for 10 more overs yesterday, I'm sure they would have lost half their side on day 4 itself.
Exactly.
I felt the same. I was looking at 550 being the cutoff for me. No run beyond that point I think was really needed. But as has been said by you guys already, now we don't get to talk about it much.
Exactly.
Now,
I just gave that
what it's done is it's given India one of the more famous wins it has ever registered on overseas soil, especially in England. That victory margin for any Indian side to be replicating this is going to be a tall task, and that takes me to something that Shubman Gill had said. This is the best Indian team that has come.
Yes. I mean,
and they've registered something.
That's what even Kohli said. I'm sure that's what even MS Dhoni also felt. So I'm not sure whether.
But what is it? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We had limited expectations from this young, inexperienced side as well.
I gave them 2-2, which many people are panning me for it.
I also gave them 2-2.
I gave them 3-2 in favor.
I gave 3-1 in England's favor.
But let's be honest. Without a Jasprit Bumrah, we're probably seeing this go down 2-0. Maybe those wins would have come later on at whatever point. But this, start of The second test match, you knew Bumrah's not probably going to be there. And let's be honest, we weren't very bullish on this Indian side. So we need to take a moment to realize that something emphatic and spectacular indeed has happened.
Indeed. I mean, see, this victories come minus a Jasprit Bumrah. Okay. Your two bowlers essentially took 17 wickets. Okay. India will have that confidence. That's why I didn't rate them 4-0 England, 4-1 England, 3-1 England, because this England team is very, very weak. Especially the bowling. The bowling alone, let me give you this particular statistic, Harshit. Your England bowling alone has leaked over 1,800 runs.
Over what duration?
2 tests. Just 2 tests. Here you have already leaked 1,014 runs.
835 was last time.
835. So imagine 1,849 runs have already been leaked.
So, but see that it just centers around the whole philosophy with which they are playing. They are okay conceding runs, but they're always looking at scoring those 20 extra runs or 50 extra runs, which will be the difference then.
You know, the problem is, see, this is what you have to look at Nasser Hussain's comment, that I think is the one which will result in Bazball getting buried 6 feet under. Our batters play too quickly. Okay. The bowlers just don't have time
To recuperate.
And the bowlers are tired, they are frazzled, they just can't ensure that we have a turnaround. And on these decks, are they helping the pacers? No, they are as flat as a short front. What do we do? If our batting fails, you're going to have more such victory margins for the opposition. England now need to realize, that's why the catch-22 has come for them.
I also felt that England had the only chance England had was to give good bowling tracks, because that is where they would have made India struggle, and then their batting would have come up, because then maybe their batting was in a better form just before the test series. But now I think the Indian batters would be very, very confident no matter what the conditions are given.
And that is why you can't give them a green pitch, which is why it is totally, if you look at it with the mindset and the momentum, it is advantage India for one simple reason. If England dish out a green pitch, England's batters will be blown out of the water. You give them a flat pitch, the Indian batters will make merry. And plus, you're expecting changes. You may have a Jofra Archer back.
Then what do you think is India's Achilles heel in terms of pitches?
Just don't have a cluster collapse. Don't play rash shots.
No. In terms of an ideal surface, what do you think is the one for England?
If you want to, ironically, the Achilles heel for India, rank turner. That has been their Achilles heel.
But that's their Achilles heel too, right?
Yes.
The scars of Pakistan would still be there.
Which is why the battle at Lords. Prepare a rank turner. Which team will fall into the hole first?
See, Indian team fell into its hole in that New Zealand series quite badly. And
but who are the spinners for England? A Bashir, a Hartley, I don't know. Will a Leach come back? I don't know. A Jack Leach, if he comes back, then
Adil Rashid.
Adil doesn't play red ball.
It could be Rehan Ahmed.
But again,
see, Moeen was visiting them, I remember, ahead of this test match. They can ask him to extend.
If Jack Leach comes, Rishabh Pant will take him to the cleaners. It's simple. It's just not happening. That's why England have a pitch problem. England have an attitude problem. England have a batting problem. England have a bowling problem.
Okay, what is your suggestion going to be to the England side? Don't say, अगर मैं coach होऊंगा तो मैं ज़रूर बताऊंगा. Like Rohit once said.
My suggestion is absolutely going to be you have to bring in Jofra Archer. I don't know,
But that is a given, I think. Yeah.
No, I don't know. The point
and
is
Gus, I think.
No, Gus isn't.
Gus isn't there. See, with Jofra Archer, one thing that Dropkey said was that Jofra has a good chance of playing either the second match or the third match. He could play the third match now, but there's also a chance that he may not play. But now that he's a part of the squad, we all know, first of all, Jofra is not the same old bowler that he used to be in 2019, 2020. But now, you have to bring him back, and one of Bradman Cast and Josh Tongue has to be dropped. It could be even Chris Wokes also, because he is not inspiring the same kind of confidence. Chris Wokes, the bowler, he needs help from the pitches, and these kind of pitches, I'm not sure, it's going to assist his bowling. So for me, if you have to ask me who goes out, for me, Chris Wokes goes out, Jofra Archer comes in, you stick to the other two bowlers, Josh Tongue and
I think Tongue
Bradman
goes
Cast.
out for me.
But I think in this batting lineup, if I have to really make a change, I think it's going to be a little harsh because this guy scored 100 in the first test. I will replace Ollie Pope with Jacob Bethel.
Okay, for your two suggestions, I will say it's been Josh Tongue who struggled in this match. So Archer comes in for Tongue. But apart from that, I would replace not Ian Bell Light. Because Ollie Pope is Ian Bell Light.
No, please, Ian Bell was a far better test cricketer
Light?
than
He's saying
Ollie
light.
Pope. No, he not even light.
But
Nah,
Ian
nah,
Bell
nah,
was
nah.
horrible in the subcontinent. He was absolutely terrible in the subcontinent. He couldn't play spin.
He was terrible in Sri Lanka, but during the 2012-2013 tour of India, he was one of England's
Only
best
100.
batters. Even in UAE, he was good.
He was. Which series were you watching? Saeed Ajmal had him wrapped around his fingers like a doosra.
Yeah.
He couldn't make sense of
Correct,
the doosra.
correct.
See, Jacob Bethel comes in, but for Zach Crawley. Zach Crawley has
I feel the same.
woeful. Imagine this is the guy
No,
who's
but then who comes at the top of the order?
Bethel.
Bethel won't
Bethel,
open.
Duckett.
But Bethel, they weren't looking at as an opener.
Yeah.
Then the guy who's
That's
been
the thing.
doing well in county cricket, get him back. Dom Sibley.
Sibley.
But
Just scored a triple 100.
But again,
Yeah.
let us not make that mistake. England's county circuit has been absolutely corrupted by this Bazball thing. They are dishing out roads. Chester Street, every other county side that is there, you don't produce wickets. The only one place that is holding firm is Lancashire, where James Anderson is still able to get that kind of a swing. This is why these
Their
kind of-
only way, I don't think any team, whatever they do, the only way to get back into the series is to dish out absolutely green tops so that the bowlers get the most help, and then Indian batters at least to get under pressure. That's their only way to make a
if
comeback.
India fold up for 160 on a green top, England are folding up for 80. Their batters, barring Joe Root, cannot play the swinging conditions. You saw what happened to them in Australia. That was pre-Bazball.
Yeah.
Let's see post-Bazball what they dish out.
If you ask me, I don't see them deviating too much from the kind of pitches that they've had in the first two matches.
It will be flat.
They can't afford to. They just cannot afford to. I totally agree with Siddharth. I doubt if these top order batters in very limited seam that was on offer, seaming conditions on offer, just around the twilight mark yesterday in Birmingham. Last 1 hour, little bit of seam on offer. Top 3 batters gone into the pavilion, right? So I don't think they can take that risk anymore of aiding the Indian bowlers. They also probably knew about the fact that India's bowling unit, even though young and without a Jasprit Bumrah on a couple of occasions, will probably be better than theirs or just at par for sure. But the batting, when it comes to there is a difference in the two sets of batters, and their batters cannot really play these swinging conditions. How the Indian batters fare is also something that is a bit of an unknown per se, but they know themselves much better.
But they will fare better, the Indian batters. I'll tell you why. You've seen the past. Whenever green tops have been dished out, India have done much better.
Correct.
Look at Lords in 2014. You couldn't distinguish the outfield from... But here you've got 2-3 batters who can do well in swinging conditions. I'll give you those
But
three
you've
batters'
got
names.
the scars of 2011 also, na?
No, why not? Why
Then
2011? No, 2011. Why? I'll give you
Sir, at least you
2024
put
BGT.
the Indian batters under pressure.
Look at 2024 BGT.
See, as soon as you give a flat wicket over there, then it comes down to which team has a better bowling lineup, and then India definitely has a much better bowling lineup, despite not playing your top two best wicket taking bowlers. So your only chance is that they give good bowling conditions so that at least the bowlers have some help, and then they also put the Indian batters under pressure, and then it comes down down to which team bats better rather than which team bowls better. And that's the only place where they can at least try to match up the Indian batters. Now, after these 2 test matches, it looks very unlikely though, but that's still their best chance to do.
You are not going to change the nature of the wickets in whatever has been going on 3-4 years at Lords. You're not going to change the nature of the wicket in Manchester. Neither you're going to change at the Oval, which is the flattest of the lot. Yeah. But the only way England can hope for some miracle is from above. I'm not talking about God. I'm not talking about anything. Cloudy conditions.
Do England so the only thing England have won so far, have a 100% record, is the toss.
Yeah.
2 toss.
No, I thought whatever England have won, I thought you will say they have won every test morally. That is what I thought you were going to say. I thought this is a moral victory. I mean, I would love to hear what Ben Stokes has said. Oh, we were going for the win. Are you kidding me? I don't know what Brendan McCullum and the management have told the players. Edgbaston of same venue. I realized the folly of Bazball. I realized the foolishness of Bazball in the Ashes. And I'm glad Cummins showed them the mirror. 387 for it declared.
Yeah.
What? You could have added another 50 runs.
But I think they were left with a couple of wickets, no?
Yes. No, we declare. Yeah. And you got Australia back in the game, okay? Yeah.
That was foolhardy.
It was foolish. So that is why, see, England will have to hope for conditions about to assist them with their pace bowling. Otherwise, if it's sunny at Lords, and we know temperatures in England have been reaching record highs. If it's hot, forget it. You are not going to win in any of the venues that is there. And England don't have the bowlers, England don't have the batters to cope with swing and seam. And that's why it's going to be a long, long summer and winter for the England team. So that's why, okay, Shubman has been unbelievable. Jamie has been incredible. Just shows his natural. Been another tough week. Spent some time in the field and bowlers have run in hard all week again. We have got to reset everything where we end up come Lords. Okay. But it's a tough one. Okay. Ben Stokes at least isn't that delusional. He's admitted it's a tough one. I mean, it'll take us a lot of time to give.
What I want to know, and I hope that is something that gets asked in the press conference, is what is it that England sort of told themselves at stumps on day 4, and what is it that their approach was come day 5? What is it that they were thinking? Were they at any point looking at the chase? Were they at any point, looking at changing the way that they bat? Truth be told, from what we saw, I don't think they were extremely aggressive with the willow. They didn't look like, a team that was going gung ho for the target. But I still want to know what is it that they had in their head.
Privately, okay, publicly they would be cool about it. We will hang on, we'll go for the win. But privately, they were done. They just were so demoralized that they could not even think about either survival or chasing the target down. They were done. 4 days in the field. They were subject to some absolutely out of the world batting from Shubman Gill and India. They just did not have the morale to come back on it. So, okay, let's just hang in.
Why this English team? Which team in this world would have chased this? That's why I was saying, why did I give them 0%? Despite telling you guys every day, you cannot do it. I know these friends of mine were backing 370, which also I did not think England will win, but they did it. But that was a superhuman effort, I thought, and it's a rare effort, 370. 600 runs, yaar, like it.
ठीक लगा लो.
ठीक. I mean, like some level, na? This is never going to happen. It can never happen. And on top of that, you were expecting them to do it in 1 day. Like, क्या मतलब free में बट रहे runs. It's not.
Unless England
scored 550.
But having said that, I think the biggest thing in this win is, despite whatever the runs or whatever Shubman Gill did, the problem was that and let's be honest, let's all of us be honest, that when India picked this team, I thought that they picked a weak bowling side. They picked a very good batting side, but they did not pick their best bowling side. And what was the one thing that everyone said, and there's nothing, I wasn't there when the day team was announced or whatever, and even though I didn't say it in Sports Today, but heart of heart, all of us knew that this team cannot pick up 20 wickets. I think that would have been the
Yes,
common consensus.
yes.
Everybody would have said that how will now, and especially with no Bumrah around, how will you pick 20 wickets? You can score 600. I don't think that would have been surprising. How would you pick 20 wickets? I think the beauty of this win is, and this is where you need to give credit to the Indian team, they've picked up those 20 wickets. And guess how they picked up the second bunch of 20 wickets within 2 sessions. This day, one session, I mean, you would have had 3 sessions, but curtail sessions, they didn't even need that. So to come and get the 7 wickets here in about 2.5 sessions is all it's taken you to roughly get that 10 wickets down. Even in situation where the ball had become old and we said will be troublesome, whatever said and done, you have to give credit to this Indian team. Majority people, and it can happen, majority of the pundits, experts didn't think this team would pick 20 wickets. They did it. Batting, I'm not surprised. If Shubman wouldn't have got 200 somewhere, maybe Pant would have got 100 in the first innings, or who knows, even like someone like Nitish Kumar Reddy can get you 100, and he did in Australia, even in tougher condition. Sundar could have got you 100. I don't know. This batting was so good. So this first inning score that they got on the basis of Shubman, even if Shubman didn't do well, somebody else would have done. Second innings also, even if it wasn't Shubman, somebody else, and as you saw, everyone contributed here and there. They were trying to bat fast. Somebody would have done it. Batting was never an issue. So hats off to the team to have done that.
I think this is where I would want to pose a question, and this is something that we discussed yesterday also, but not at length. Have England really now realized the importance of draws in Test cricket? I don't think so. This is my personal opinion, and then I would love to hear from all of you that this is something that they really need to look at. See, there will be situations now wherein you would see an opposition, setting you a target in excess of 450, 500, assuming you are playing on these kind of tracks, or assuming England have a collapse in any of their first innings. What do you do in these kind of situations? I'm not saying that you have to completely focus on blockathon, something that South Africa did in the early 2000s, and that really worked well for them. For England, I think it's about finding a balance as to how they continue to keep on scoring, but at the very same time, make your defensive game strong. You talk about this England batting, this team, this batting lineup. I don't think, most of the batters can really do it. One of them who I really trust in is someone Joe Root, and I'm sure that he can change his game accordingly. Ben Stokes is no more the clutch batter that he used to be. This England team really needs a hardcore lesson in defensive batting. They don't have it, and they would need it as not just this series progresses, but maybe even in Ashes too.
That's asking them to come up with a new philosophy for Test cricket.
I don't think they're going to leave.
That's about
sleep
adding
over
a layer to their already set
So
game.
that
You
is
are seeing it like
playing
that.
Test
I don't think they're going to lose sleep over this loss.
Yeah.
See, how does what you are suggesting that now this should make them realize we need to change something? That only happens when you lose sleep over it. Oh, we've lost. What do we have to? I don't think they're going to be worried about it at all. They will be like, okay, we played a test match. This was a target that was set to us. We lost. I don't think they are going to change that thought process at all. And I think, to be fair to them, that's brought them success, and they'll continue doing it. Whether you and I like it or not, and we've been critics of that, that's another thing. That's how we're seeing things. Yeah. But I do not think that England is going to change. For example,
But it's more moral success at the moment, no?
No. It's not a question. No. Moral success as in what they, like playing in. So, they drew the series with India chase when India went back with 370. They feel pride in that. They would feel pride in that same test match where in the previous test match, everyone said, no, they can't do it because it happened handful of time. They did it. So that's not just moral success. They've achieved that. So I think they enjoyed that more than if they had to. I mean, that for them Ashes is so big.
Yeah, but
they blundered there.
Are they winning series? They didn't win the previous Ashes the same summer that it had to happen. Where they didn't win that Ashes. With that mentality, they thought they'll be the biggest challengers India have ever faced at home with this newfound way that cricket's played, Test cricket's played. It didn't happen. All you got was a win in Hyderabad, and nothing happened after that. I think, as Siddharth says so often, perhaps the obituary to this whole brand of cricket will be written, and they'd like it to be written in Australia, and perhaps that will happen with time, because if you're not willing to adapt, and this is going against what Test cricket stands for, what Test cricket is all about, if you're not willing to adapt to the situation, then you're
play like that. This is what they feel is the right culture to go about it, they'll continue doing it till you reach a dead end of this philosophy and they say, okay, from today, the coaches change, you're sacked, captain sacked, time to turn around England cricket, then you may see something new start. But I don't think it's a minor tweak that you do every test match. So I don't think that they're even thinking of anything
You're
like that.
talking about success and all these things. Oh, they chased down 378, they chased down 373. FYI, they did have moral success. Lords, Australia, they've lost that game, but no, morally we won because of that dismissal that Alex Carey did. to
Johnny Bairstow,
Yeah. Bairstow and England were absolutely foolish, but then they wrapped their heads around saying, oh, we were morally undone by it. We will go after them in Leeds and all the other games. Yes, you got 2-2 there, but then morally you won everything ever since existence. But then that's not the point. At what point are you going to say, boss, the WTC is happening at home, the final? When will I be part of a home final? Because you won a World Cup at home. You won a T20 World Cup away, that's okay, but then you won an ODI World Cup at home. The best you have of a WTC final hope is at home. You can't play spin. That's why you lost after Pakistan changed that Multan highway into potholes. They've succumbed. You can't win in India. You can't win in Australia. You can only win against the tier 2 nations like New Zealand, Sri Lanka to a certain extent, and that's it. Till at what point will you define your success? What is your success? This is the problem with England. Gung-ho approach, oh, we will be enhancing test cricket. But boss, prior to you, there were others enhancing the standard of test cricket with much more senses up here. A Virender Sehwag did that, a Gilchrist did that. The Aussies of 2000s used to do that. And they had success. Nothing defines like success. But then, I don't know whether this England cricket team will reach a dead end. But what Bazball is doing to them and the so-called marketing of Bazball, it's killing their cricket. It is killing their grassroots. And they have a long summer and winter that's awaiting them.
But I think, just, concentrating on what England is doing wrong is in a way taking away from what India has done.
Of course.
England has been doing, it's not a thing that you saw in this test match. It's not for the very first time they blundered. This is how they play. I mean, with this approach only, everyone gave England a clear-cut chance to win, right? But here we are sitting 1-all. If you asked me after the end of 2 test matches, it will be 1-all, I wouldn't have been as bullish about this young Indian team. But they're still sitting there and England is playing their game. And as I said, what England does is not going to happen now. It may happen at a bigger decision that happens. Whenever. But what India is doing is of more importance to me. I think what they have done, as I said, one with picking up those 20 wickets. And the other thing, I think that is the biggest takeaway from me of this game, is that this was going to be a test. This particular series was going to be a test of an Indian team without its big guns, their 2 batting maestros. And in both test matches, the batting has really stood up. I know flat conditions and whatever, and they will have tougher tests ahead. But overall, you had doubts over a young captain, a young batting lineup, even a bowling attack with Bumrah not playing all test matches, and that is a test match that is not played. All of that has happened, and you sit 1-all on an even keel. But that in itself is a great sign for the future. So if anyone was worried about the future, that's not to say that they won this series. They could go ahead and lose this series. But I'm saying if anyone had any doubts, this could have gone south. This could have been disastrous for India, this series. But that's not happened. In fact, that's what I was saying. I was just calculating that on the scoreline it looks 1-all. But if you actually look at the performance of both test matches and you combine it together, India's had the better of exchanges, because first test match was 50-50, up, down, up, down, up, down. It kept happening like that. And second test match, there was no up, down, up, down. It was only up, up, up for India, and England just kept going down.
9-1-1.
So if you combine the 10 days of test cricket that you have seen, I know it doesn't reflect in the scoreline, and that's not how cricket is seen, but if you, for an argument basis, if you combine the 10 days of the or the 10 days of the cricket that these two teams have played, and or break it down into sessions, India clear cut ahead. Clear cut
As I
ahead.
said, this test match should be remembered for 9-1-1. Edgbaston, India won 9 sessions. England won only 1. There was a shared session.
Now tell me who would have thought this, and I didn't think this. Again, now not just the Indian team being young, secondly they lost the first test match where you thought that now it'll even get worse as the series progresses, and third, the record in Edgbaston, the greatest of teams that have travelled here. I mean, teams of the Kapils and the Gavaskars, the teams of the Dravids and the Tendulkars, the teams of the Virats and the Pujaras, and everyone has been there. Nobody has won.
In fact, India are the first Asian nation to win in Edgbaston.
There you go. So the teams of the Shubmans and Yashashvis and Pants has won that test match in Edgbaston. Says a lot.
And as you said, without 4 maestros in that era, if you look at it. No Virat, no Rohit, no Ashwin, no Bumrah.
Yeah.
You have done it.
I mean, in fact, that reminds me, even Ashwin himself had tweeted where he said that I hope India, and I sincerely hope that India, when they put on all those runs, that India don't miss a Kuldeep Yadav, because who's going to be picking up wickets for them? Even an Ashwin had said that.
Yes.
But they've picked their 20 wickets. Easy peasy. And just to add to that, and they have picked up wickets on a pitch where everyone is saying is a road, where the home team has struggled to pick 20 wickets.
16 wickets. Like what India picked only 15 wickets in Leeds, they have taken only 16 wickets.
So you can't even say that they've picked up wickets on helpful conditions, like you say in India, or the conditions help them. They've not even picked up wickets at home on conditions that they know they've picked up wickets in.
I mean, you just need to look at the statistics that is there of all the batters of India in this series and all the batters of England in this series. 1,849 runs by India in 2 tests alone. 1,014 here. First time ever it's happened for them.
But then haters will say the flattest conditions ever.
But
in
then you
India.
make hay wherever, whichever conditions you do it.
I've said that. I agree.
Yes. And look at it. Shubman Gill with 585, and I'll be very interested to see what Sunny Ji said.
Oh, Sunny
Please.
Ji, I will give you we've already, that's why, sorry I was late because we were recording with Mr. Gavaskar. That interview will be up on Sports Today. But just to give you a bit of a hint or a teaser on that,
Jhalak,
because
yes.
you were saying about the record. So for his own record, 774, he said, of course, Shubman's will not only go past it, he'll go past it in Lords next test match only.
Oh.
He says that. He's about 180 or something short.
He is, 170 runs.
170, 180 short. He said, I think he'll go past it in Lords only. So, I mean, and imagine what an occasion that will be.
190, sorry, not 170.
And he spoke about the Don Bradman record, which is the highest ever, 974 of most runs in a 5 test match series, in which he has proclaimed, which can be a thumb also.
Or you want to
He
just
said,
keep it secret.
Okay, let's keep it a secret. Good idea.
Yeah.
See the interview. It's a very interesting line that he's used about that.
But
Bradman's record. Can Shubman break Bradman's
Bradman's
record?
Did he speak something about his own record being broken? I think what he managed was 500 in England. In a test series, he had managed 500. He's
already broken that.
He's already broken that, and now
He's saying he's breaking his all-time.
Yeah, but the other stat, and he's only I think 15-17 runs away. I think Rahul Dravid's the most
for
602.
602.
And
By
he
an
already-
Indian in England.
By an Indian. That's definitely happening.
That's it. But then imagine.
Though I must say, always,
Yes.
Never say never.
don't say 100%.
100%. Yeah. Could get a pair at Lords, who knows?
It happens, nah.
But then see, Gill,
Yeah, we saw an Indian captain register only 31 runs in a 5 test series.
although he played only 3.
I don't think there was
3 test matches.
and there was no need for that.
Then he stood down.
But I'm just extending the logic because there's only 3 test matches left now.
No, but imagine if Gill breaks Gavaskar's record at Lords. Gavaskar took 4 tests to make 774. He would have done it in 3 tests. Man, oh man, that is staggering.
I'm sure Gavaskar had the most, I think, difficult of the conditions. That's
1970.
something.
Yeah, but
No, but Nikhil, would you say that 1971
71
West
attack
Indies-
didn't have that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
71 didn't have that
But
attack.
that is not discouraging Gavaskar's knock.
But can I tell you the aura that Windies team had?
Exactly. The
I mean,
opposition also.
just
True.
And also like where Indian cricket was at that time. See, now the thing is nothing against anyone. These guys, all these young kids now play the IPL and they are the envy of the nation. Everyone aspires to be like Shubman Gill's never underconfident when he's going to England or something. There's nothing that surprises him or he's in awe of anything. Imagine those young Indian players when they were going to West Indies only like, oh, we are going to a country with such great players.
Yeah.
That can I even score runs? Am I allowed to score runs? What if I get hundreds? I don't know. And hostile crowds and all that. Nowadays, the young player is so confident because he's played with the top international stars. He's seen the big crowds in IPL. He's performed at many say even tougher situation in terms of defending. Some bowler has to defend 10 runs in an over, those sort of situation, or a batter has to hit 15 in an over. He's faced those kind of situations. So paka you've gone there. You're like you've been there, done that. But those days, a youngster, when he went for his first tour, if he's going to West Indies, he doesn't have any clue of what international cricket is like or what it is to face international.
But aside from Sunny G's comments which you will listen, do you personally think he can do the double? Break Sunny's record and Bradman's record?
Bradman, he needs 380.
He needs
or
390
70.
runs more. He needs 390.
Something like that. 380,
because
390. Okay.
585 plus 390 is 975.
Yeah, there you go. So 390 runs.
In 3 tests, yeah. And he needs 190 to break Gavaskar's.
So that's an average, let's say 400 with 3 test matches left.
With potentially 6 innings at an average of 80. Close to 80.
See, I'll tell you why you should be wary of this. I'll tell you why. Because both in Lords and Manchester, you're not going to really get...
But hasn't that changed? Pitches have changed in England. Lords in particular has also been very flat. Same with Manchester and Oval.
In the remaining 3 matches,
Both London games are very
What
flat.
happened in WTC?
But that was ICC preparation. England may prepare
Preparation now. In fact, this is the other thing that England need to look at. This whole, again, going back and taking nothing away from this Indian team, these flat pitches have only eased this Indian team, even if they had any sort of butterflies, that what will we do without some stalwarts and English conditions and all of that. Some even, playing their first test matches here. No issue, man. You've given them this pitch. So now you've given them form. Now you go to seaming conditions, you will be also under the pump. Indian players also will be under the pump. But at least now that whole fear has gone, that way inferior in any way of it touring. So if they had started off with that, you wouldn't have allowed them to build on the confidence. Because what happened when you went here, Shubman had doubters, can he get runs in Sena, pressure of captaincy, this and that. Gave him flat pitches. Of course, credit to him to have gotten runs. He was the only centurion for India in the first inning of this test match. If this was easy, then many should have picked up hundreds. In fact, he is the only centurion for India in this particular test match across innings. The only one who's gone past a 3-figure mark, right? Yes. Across both innings. Yeah.
Jasprit scored 87.
Yeah,
KL
everyone
82.
scored 80.
So if it was this easy, everyone would have gotten hundreds, right? So they didn't. The only Indian to do it. So, but I'm just saying that had you given them hardcore English conditions, you would have played on their ego. You would have also been in trouble. But then, because they want to bat like Bazball, aggressive, they gave it. But it played into the hands of the Indian team, and they took it with both hands.
It was a two-edged sword. You knew you were going to aid the opposition, but you relied more on your strength. And this is exactly what India didn't do on the 19th, basically. India didn't believe in their own strength. England continued to believe in their own strength.
Yeah. But I still feel that Lords does help fast bowling a bit. I mean, so run scoring is not that easy. Same with Manchester. Manchester pitch you can make whichever way, but overhead conditions, always come into play. So that I think could be an issue. Oval, yes, you can get runs, but you've seen Oval WTC final. We've played there.
But for a long time.
But WTC
21.
final, no,
22.
23.
23.
23, yeah.
But the WTC final wicket and the Ashes wicket that was presented were totally different. Because different times of the year,
Yeah.
Lords now will be different as compared to Lords in the WTC. Starting of the month, when you look at June. So that's why they
That
will
was
change.
that was mid-June, I think, where India played.
Yeah, mid-June. June 11th to June 16th at that point.
Yeah.
And oval is different.
And let's also not lose sight of the fact that England have come up with one of the most inexperienced bowling attack as well, and they'd have to reinforce that. So if Archer comes back, and
One of them is back in Gus Atkinson.
Gus Atkinson is also
There
back
could be a
into the
couple of
English
changes
squad.
then.
As I
I think
was just
both
saying about Gus
Bryden
as well.
Carse and Josh Tongue could go out with Atkinson and Jofra Archer coming in, because both
Yeah.
of them have
I would say
are actually going to
drop a
offer some
Tongue and
experience.
drop Tongue and Wokes, get in Atkinson and
If there is
Archer.
nothing, no assistance from the pitch, then there is no point in playing Chris Wokes. It's as simple as that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But then what do you think? Can
Coming back to your question,
Yeah.
I think he'll go past SMG. Will go past SMG. That will happen. So, and no, I think Bradman will miss out. Just a guess.
+1 to what Nikhil is saying. The point here is that even I expect more tricky conditions in Lords and Manchester. I think
Correct.
Oval is going to be completely flat. So
Yeah.
that way, he can probably he can still score 100 in Lords. Manchester Oval can be, 3 more hundreds. But realistically, I think Gavaskar, he'll definitely surpass. But Bradman, I think he'll fall just short.
Sunil's Gavaskar's record, definitely. I think he is crossing that.
Is that MS Wala definitely?
Definitely. No, Arnold, definitely. Yes, he's crossing Bradman.
Bradman.
Yes, he is.
I'm also, I think he's crossing, because I'm expecting Lords and Oval to be more
batting
flat, than they've been traditionally.
Because if he doesn't do well at Lords and Manchester, he'll make it up at the Oval. Flattest condition in July end that you're going to get. I think he'll do it.
SMG. He's also SMG.
Yes.
Shubman Gill. That's not given by me. It's given by the real SMG.
Of course, of course.
First he said, I'll be happy if another SG breaks this SG's record. Then he said, no, actually, if you break it down, he's also SMG. Shubman Gill.
Shubman Gill, and he's the only Sunil Manohar Gavaskar.
Superman Gill.
Superman Gill.
Superman Gill. Indeed.
Okay, Doggy Daniel says this win by this young Indian team should humble Mr. Sidvi. After first match loss, he was so disrespectful to this young team. Why?
But I was not even there when the match ended. मेरे को क्यों तोड़ा? Okay, but see, what I might have said is okay.
Does he mean Sid G? Were you disrespectful? No.
No, but then
No, Doggy Daniel.
Harshit and I predicted an England win, but we never disrespected the Indian team.
I don't know if it counts for disrespect, but I as you touched
But he's
upon,
written Sid V, so why are you getting
I remember I wasn't confident of them taking 20 wickets on the day
That's what I'm saying.
of the first day of the second test match. When the squad came out, not happening is what I said.
I mean,
20 wickets.
Mr. Daniel.
They've done
I
it.
mean,
Egg on my face.
That's
you have
true.
to have eggs, no?
No, he's ready to take it on the face, not in the mouth.
That's I told you. The egg tastes much better now. After what Akash Deep has done. First 10 wicket haul by an Indian pacer after 40 years. Chetan Sharma had taken 10 wickets in
England?
In Edgbaston, yeah.
Kapil
never took a 10 wicket haul in England. No, I don't think so, yeah. But yeah, okay. Supposing if I had indeed done that. If I was disrespectful to the young team, only chaos and drama.
No, but
I'm pretty much sure he would have also done it. He doesn't want to admit it out in public.
no, but even if he does not, what's wrong with having different opinions?
Exactly.
If somebody thought that this young Indian team cannot win, that's fine. Somebody thought you can be. There are a lot of times that, all of you enjoy cricket. You may have thought that this will happen. It doesn't happen. That's fine. How does it matter?
So, Pawan Holla is saying, curious how England will prepare the pitches going forward. Whether they will stick to flat tracks or go with swinging conditions. If they prepare flat tracks again, benefit is more to India due to better bowling lineup.
Yeah, and Bumrah is obviously going to come back. He'll play the third test. Shubman Gill said definitely. He'll more than likely play the fourth. He should play, in fact, in Manchester. The ball swings there the whole day.
There's a break again.
Yeah.
3 and 4, there's a break.
For England's sake, I've said it before and not now. For England, if they want to do well, they need to get the juice in the pitch. And it's going to cause them trouble also. It'll cause India trouble as well. But the point of the matter is, that is natural conditions to them. They've still, they've faced it even as young kids, growing up, their county cricket. They face it on and off. They're used to those conditions. For India, yes, Indian players practice. They become much better now. But they're still alien conditions, no? So it requires an extra effort for the opposition team to get adjusted to. It's like turning tracks. There are sometimes opposition teams that can play really well on turning tracks. But 9 times out of 10, India will do well because you're born and brought up in those conditions. You get better. And so, so for England, it's a no-brainer. If I was the England team management, I would say, it's like, I remember that series when Australia were here. 2004-5, that Nagpur test match. What happened? It's not that that Indian team could not play in, seeming conditions. But you gave Australia a green track and that's it. You shot yourself in the foot. So it's like, so you're doing pretty much that. You're giving India the kind of tracks that they would get in Ahmedabad or Rajkot, good batting conditions. You've given them that. So
Indeed. Praneet Datta saying, said that was me because of whom you have to eat egg. As I said, I loved it.
So from that perspective, then even if England have lost this test comprehensively, they would still not change the conditions. They would still not change the pitches. Actually, they would still want to keep it
possible. But there is a inherent nature as well, and I think Lords will still offer something for the bowlers. Again, they're not going to drastically change everything and there'll be runs to score there as well. But there is some sort of an even balance that comes out for bowlers as well. If on given conditions that they can be picking wickets, which hasn't really been the case in Leeds. It definitely wasn't. Here, I think it's the genius of the Indian bowlers to have, found a way. And a lot of these bowlers sometimes bowl in flat conditions in India and then find ways to pick wickets. So they might even do it in Lords. But I think the nature of Lords can sometimes help seam bowling.
Talk about these flat pitches, Indian conditions. The one bowler that comes to my mind is Umesh Yadav.
Yeah,
I think he would have probably made merry on these kind of pitches.
Yeah,
he was actually India's best bowler in the last few years in the home conditions.
But a lot of things that would help him was reverse swing as well. He would reverse really well. But then that
what
thing
an athlete also.
Yeah, but then the SG ball allowed him to do it here in India. I don't know how much the Dukes allows you to do that, and also the grounds in England are so lush green that the ball doesn't rough up as much as the SG. So he excelled in those conditions. Whether he would have got that much reverse here, not as much as India, definitely not.
No. But definitely would have been handful in these conditions.
You would get it a bit in Australia.
Yeah.
You would get that. So yeah.
Raveen Danapalan has a comment that the moment Rohit and Kohli lost their form, it put undue pressure on India's bowlers. The reason India did 2-2 in England in 2021, it was because of the combined effort.
True.
Because what changed in Edgbaston, they did not allow a cluster collapse to happen at any point in time in the batting. And when you're lost in England, it's been due to cluster collapses.
I think the one biggest reason why India has won also this particular test match is, they made 3 big errors in the first test match. One is you or your lower order could not get runs. 2 is you could not get their lower order out cheaply, and 3 you drop catches. Now look at what this Indian team has done. They have rectified on all those 3 things that they erred on in the first test match. This time their lower order got runs. You dismissed their lower order without getting too many runs, and you held on to your catches, barring 1 or 2 a little later in the test match. So, but what that tells you that it's not just a coincidence that India has looked so much better. They were even Steven. That's why I'm saying, had these small little things wouldn't have happened in Leeds, who knows, you would have been sitting 2-0 up because at that match also you were going to go 600.
1-0.
Yeah, draw. Because you were going 600 plus even in that innings.
Imagine Yashasvi's 4 drops alone cost you 165 runs. Imagine, had he taken those catches, that's it. Yeah. India would not have given England a chance. at this point in time. So, okay, go back. Rakesh Bhushan on dead and docile wicket, batting was easy. Let's applaud Akash Deep and Siraj. They bowled their heart out on a pitch which was not all conducive for their style of bowling. Was it? I thought, see, on this wicket where it needed to be accurate, wicket to wicket, just outside off.
Who was the man of the match, by the way?
Gill.
Yeah,
I think
would have also
from
given
that
it to him.
perspective, I wanted to make a point that I think Gill's knock, or maybe if there was actually a match-defining thing, I think it was Gill's knock only because it came at a time when India were 200 out for 5.
Yeah. And as I said, he's
to
the
score 587.
Yeah.
and he's the only centurion.
True.
Like nobody else has gotten 100 only. He's got 400 plus. That's another thing. 430 whatever runs.
430.
Yeah, nobody else chipped in. So can't take that away from
set
Gill.
up the game of
And the
both
thing is, I don't know how many test matches there would have been the player getting 430 runs.
Very few. I mean, Gooch got 456 runs.
Yeah, but they'll be just
Sangakkara got 424.
10 wickets would have been there many occasions across test matches.
Bangladesh.
You know.
Yeah, 319.
10
and
innings
105.
happen innings only. Forget test matches.
No, there was Brian Lara scored 400.
Alone. In one innings. Yeah. So, Raveen Dhanapalan saying, late declaration as they wanted to shut England out. But even at 484, you had shut England out. Yeah.
I agree. And the only thing, see, supposing it had rained a bit more, what would have happened? One more session got washed out. We would have been all biting our nails towards the end. Arey, so many overs left, can't get out. Why get in there only?
Plus
500 was enough.
Planning for your show would have been even more complicated.
India could have declared about 10 overs before. Like you got about, when you got to a lead of 520, 530, I think that was enough.
500 was also enough. Like
Yeah.
psychologically, by 500, it's Mount Everest. Now go ahead and
Since he
climb it.
makes a point about shutting out, I think 550 was shut. Absolutely shut. You still kept on batting and it almost sort of became frustrating at that point.
Yeah.
As to what's happening.
500 was also shut, 500 chasing
No, you know
doesn't
why?
happen.
It
I know
doesn't,
you
I
believe
agree.
in this English team. You believed in them in the previous tests and they won.
But you look at it this way, had
500,
they not, they still notched up 70 odd runs yesterday despite losing 3 wickets. Had they lost a wicket less here and there and that 70 became 120, 140, they would have left with about 400 runs. They would have then gone ahead with that 450 runs.
How many runs did you say? 400, 450 on a final day wicket.
They wanted to chase 400 in India. Then somebody said 500 a few days back. So it's somewhere in the middle now. They would have at least given it a crack then.
I will only say one thing. Bazball is spooking people where it shouldn't spook them.
See, I'm looking at this way, Siddharth, then 450 runs is what, 5 and over. India were also scoring 5 and over, na?
Yeah, they were. But again, look at the situation of the match, situation of the innings. There is a reason why in the history.
I
of
totally
Test
agree
cricket,
with you.
it's
I
never
totally agree with you.
happened. Yeah. Pawan Holla, don't know what happened to Ollie Robinson. He's nowhere in the England bowling setup. He could have troubled Indian batters more than Carson Tongue.
Fitness issues and off the field things, I think it
He's
actually.
becoming a fiction writer, no, Ollie Robinson.
Oh,
Yeah. He's
Okay.
preparing for an authorship in fiction writing. Because the columns that he used to write after the Ashes, those 2 matches, it was like either he's played a different level of cricket or he's born in a different era altogether.
I was
That's why
actually,
he's into fiction
I
writing.
was actually thinking of a story idea. Yeah, the list of cricketers who got into writing and all that stuff. You literally had me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Ollie Robinson is preparing a career as a fiction writer.
No, but there is one more Ollie
This is a good one,
Robinson in England's county circuit. Same name, but he's a batter.
Yeah.
He could make his England.
No, but now you already told you they've got Gus Atkinson coming in. So
Gus Atkinson's there.
he's there, and of course there is Jofra, who was available for this test, but I think they said, "Nee, next test we'll unleash him."
There are going to be, I think, 2 changes for England. Minimum of 2 changes.
So in one corner will be Jasprit, the other will be Jofra.
Good fun.
The dream team that never could happen for Mumbai Indians.
One
They were
season.
in one
yeah,
team,
yeah.
but it couldn't happen. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anchal, Gill के idol and best test captain ने Gill पे फिर लिखा.
Oh no, he's talking about Achal's talking about Virat's tweet. Did you
Yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah.
By the way, lovely tweet by Virat Kohli. He says, "Great victory for India at Edgbaston. Fearless and kept pushing England to the wall. Brilliantly led by Shubman with a bat, and in the field an impactful performance from everyone. Special mention to Siraj and Akash for the way they bowled on this pitch. Shubman Gill, Mohammad Siraj official, and Akash Deep hashtag.
True.
So that he's been very active. Yesterday as well, there was an appreciation on Instagram for Shubman Gill. Today, he's again. I think it's again that MRF thing. Because
Really? He put
the
yesterday
other
also.
MRF batter also, former MRF
Yeah,
batter.
this is the one.
His idol. So it's all idols following each other.
Well
Where is it that
played,
we hear from SRT the most? On Twitter.
Of course, of course. Well played, star boy. Rewriting history onwards and upwards. You deserve all of it.
Yes,
That's what
that's the one.
Virat had written. But yeah, Virat himself laid down the benchmark in Edgbaston 7 years ago. Yeah.
You know, this tells me that he's comfortable where he is right now.
Yeah, he is.
In the sense, he's comfortable with his decision of having retired from Test. He's in a happy space.
Very happy space.
He's enjoying watching it, chilling. He's also now an IPL winner.
Yes, of course.
But that is 5 levels below Test cricket.
Yeah,
Definitely.
of course. That he said.
Rightly said.
Absolutely.
I mean,
brilliantly said.
if you look at
Brilliantly
Time
said.
to have said that. What a time.
Absolutely.
Where the world was watching you.
And looking at the way how India play their Test cricket, it's evident like India are at this level because of what he did with his captaincy and how he led from the front with that.
True.
Yep.
Deepthi,
It was such a stunning victory. It even brought an old man out of his cricket social media silence. Posted about cricket for 2 days. Amazing. Old man. Yeah.
It is
Virat is 36 years
joking,
young. Yeah.
Joking.
Yeah.
still, still
No,
not retired.
Deepthi
though.
is a Virat Kohli fan.
Of course.
So
She is.
obviously means it in good humor.
Good humor. Old man. Yeah. Chili Paneer, number 1 batsman rooted and booted. Also, he looked angry every time camera panned to him. Number 3 and number 6 only positions need to be strengthened. Jurel at 6. I don't think you're making any changes. in batting.
Actually, Paneer, we have
Yeah.
how many days?
3 days.
3
We'll do
days.
it on Wednesday.
3 days we will do this only.
See, Wednesday we are making the team.
When is the match starting?
Thursday.
Team we are making on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Which day? Wednesday we do the preview of the match. What are you guys like? So how many years have you been here?
No, but this also, it's like that surface that has changed, na?
Arey? Nahi.
Monday also will make the team.
Yeah.
Tuesday also will make it.
Wednesday, big preview. Lord's preview, big preview. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coming up, yeah, chili paneer. Today,
Lot of
enjoy.
time.
Enjoy like a nice cup of chai that you take slow sips and enjoy it. Do not gulp it down, na? Like that, slowly. Enjoy this win. We'll get to what is to be done in Lords. Today, sleep well. India is 1-1.
And I have
Kaate
chili
ki
paneer.
takkar.
I have chili paneer.
Have chili paneer. That reminds me, I haven't had dinner, but I will have after.
Afterwards, yeah. Srimanta Bhattacharya saying, what this England test team has achieved that they shouldn't care shows your shallow thinking. That means they want to play, enjoy, and we don't care about the result. Result will take care of its.
Yeah,
on
anyways,
its
they
own.
don't care about the WTC format also. They have not made it to 2 finals. Could happen for the 3rd time in a row. You never know.
With Brendan McCullum there, they're not making it for the
3
4th cycle also. if they
Yeah, I
continue
think they're really wired into this philosophy. So, I guess, see, the other thing is that while, yes, there is pressure there, any national team, but I guess cricket in England doesn't face the kind of pressure that, let's say, football in England faces. Where then you have, that's where you make up decisions haphazardly sometime. And that can happen to Indian cricket sometime because the scrutiny is so much more. So, cricket in that sense, of course, it's love, people enjoy it, but can still escape that.
Yep. Oh yes, in the next 51 minutes, that's going to happen.
Shashwat, we are enjoying a win, yaar. T20 cricket
Yeah,
and
I know.
T20 stars we can talk about. We're enjoying a test win.
Yeah. Shubham Garg is saying, Gigi, instead of asking Jarno to frame question better today, he will ask and answer question himself. Good, finally got some noteworthy result in test. Yeah, after so many months, he's got
Why
one.
is
It was
he-
the Perth test.
Perth,
Perth,
but Perth and prior to that and after that,
Nothing.
it was
na?
only Akal, nothing else.
Now you found new Akash.
We found Akash, yes, that's there. Ashish,
No,
Dhar.
now I want to know one thing. Everyone abused Gautam Gambhir left, right, and center for the team selection. Now, will people give him credit for selecting this team? I want to know.
I will still criticize him for sure. Let's be very, I think, clear about the fact that 85% of the wickets were taken by just two bowlers.
Oh, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Every
No,
game you
just
say
because,
that.
just because you won, you cannot, sweep things under the carpet. No, that's the point.
But I know that. But at the end of the day, they strengthened the batting. Maybe you needed the batting. You needed 600. See, the different ways of looking at the game. Nothing succeeds like success. So if he got the abuse, whether right or wrong, I though anyway don't think the coach has too much of a say in the 11 anyway. But he was considered the guy who selected the team apparently.
But I am not tempted to believe that Rohit Sharma was the one who was who intended to play bits and pieces cricketers in Border Gavaskar Trophy. I don't think
then
it
how
was his
did
decision.
no? I'm sorry. Then you are doing disservice to Rohit Sharma by saying he's a weak person who succumbed to pressures
I'm
and
saying
played
that
the
it
team.
was maybe I think it was down to the fact that few people were trying to take decisions, and towards the end it was someone's call that was made to be the final call.
No, that you can't do that. It is at the end of the day. I know that Rohit Sharma, has been a strong captain. They've been different coaches. He may get along with one person or not get along with another. It's another thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can ever be a captain who will take the team that's given to him on paper. No chance. No chance in hell. No, it could be anybody. I don't think he'll take the team that's given to him, that this is the team you have to play.
But I think coming back to this match,
I don't
you
think
still have to, I think, look at a few things. What's really the role of Nitish Reddy? You're obviously playing him more as a batter. He did not really contribute this time around.
No, those things, see, at that I'm saying, of course, we will talk about things which are right or wrong. My point is that when the team comes out, as I said, a lot of us were guilty that this team cannot take 20 wickets. Now they've taken, whether two bowlers have taken or one or whatever, that's another thing, right? Anil Kumble took all 10 wickets. That doesn't mean that the selection is wrong. Okay, he stepped up on the day. They've done the job. They've taken 20 wickets. They've scored enough runs. They are emphatic winners in a ground where India has never won. Now, you have to, if you get abused for one particular team which you think cannot take 20 wickets, but that team has done it and won the test match, will that person get the credit, or will the credit go to somebody else, but the abuse should go to one person? That's my question. It should be if he is responsible for picking the team or whatever, then if won today, then everyone should compliment him today. Wow, Gautam, you did what we could not see. Or you be like how I thought, that I don't think a coach is as powerful to decide. He can be a person who can advise. It's the captain's team. I always look at the team as a captain's team. So then my criticism also would have been directed at the captain, saying, no, Shubman, you're not playing the right team. Or no, Rohit, you were not playing the right team. But then my praise also now is going to go to Shubman, that listen, Shubman, you saw things that I didn't see, or Rohit, you saw certain things that I didn't see. Well done.
No, I sort of side with Gulati here, and I don't think I'm going to be in awe of the decision making that's happened. Yes, the results gone your way, and I can't, for cricketing reasons, be very appreciative of the make of this team right now. It's like saying that.
No, neither am I. I'm not saying that. My point is not that. I'm saying everyone
Panned Gautam Gambhir.
Like we didn't.
But
I know
now
we're addressing the larger
I'm not
issue.
talking to you. I'm saying in general, if I had to pick up what is the one thing that I could say is like Gautam Gambhir is trending because the selection has gone wrong and he's ruined the team. But now you've won, right? So my point is, by that same logic, now you should trend that fantastic.
But
Captain Marvel or something, whatever. Is Captain trending for being Captain Marvel?
Did he come for the PC?
Getting praises.
It should be him or.
Oh, he's trending. He's getting praises.
But
No. Trending doesn't mean you're getting praises. Washi is also trending. Doesn't mean he's getting praises.
But coming back, I feel it's like saying if the GDP is increasing, let's say, but income disparity is also increasing, then what?
That is happening.
But I don't know where it's happening.
No, true.
But my point being,
No, it's true. What
That
else
is true.
is that a good indicator? No, na.
It's
So
not.
while overall beautiful picture it paints
I'm
that
not-
you've drawn level.
I'm not debating that at all. I'm saying there's so many issues I find with the team selection. I still do. I'm not saying that.
He will be praised for this. He should get the praise for this.
I'm saying if I think one person, which I don't believe in. I don't think one person can select the team, and if there is one person, then it can only be the captain. And that is one thing that is not changed in cricket. Even in T20 cricket, I have heard that, and this, by the way, I don't know about Test cricket, I can't tell you, but in IPL, different stages, I've had close friends who've been part of the team setup. And sometimes when I hear, then I realize what I hear or what we assume on the outside and what really happens. But sometimes, we assume X person, whatever, I'm not the weak captain, the coach sometimes seems like very dominating. Arey, yehi to team chala raha hai, everything, he has played so much, legend ke samne, where this guy would be saying. When I hear stories, boss, the young generation is different.
Very assertive now, yeah.
When they are in the thing, no matter who you are, they know it's their team. This is what we want. And even the big legends also know we have a job to do, boss. We are here to do the job. We can only be a support cast. So when I hear, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I like the captain taking ownership, because at the end of the day, he'll only get sacked as captains have gotten sacked, or they get the abuse. Ki, what is this? Upstarts, this and that. So they take.
But do you think all this thing that, the coach is interfering with the team and all this, I know it's not 100% proven, but do you think it's all count because of the Chappell era? When there were...
Yes, but see, what I agree, but where the coach did try to become as dominating. But even then, see, I'll tell you, I covered Indian cricket very closely as you traveled with the team at the time. Even then, the final call was taken by the captain. Just that and that was one of the major issues, that they felt that the captain was on the same page as the coach and not stepping in. See, they felt that the captain stepped in and said, no, we're nothing doing. Coach wouldn't have had any option. Because they came on the same page, that's where, all hell broke loose.
Yep.
And that is the issue. That's why, so I say, it's just the way our cricket is set up, that the captain has the final call. You can't. He's a young guy, old guy. That's why they debate so much about who to make the captain, because there's so much power that comes with it. You could, I mean, look at MS Dhoni when he came in as a young captain. Everyone thought young, so many seniors won't do it. Started asserting himself, and that is a good thing. That's why he became such a good captain.
Correct.
This is my team, I'll do this. This is how I want thing. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't do, he'll only get the abuse. You keep listening to everyone. See, that's why I say, and another wise person once told me, he said, if you're a captain, and that actually extends to leadership, and all of us should follow that. Whenever you're in a leadership position, when you're doing anything, do what you think is right. You can take advice, but eventually do what you think is right for two reasons. One, because, if it goes wrong and it goes south or whatever, and you get the boot, whatever, you will never have the regret that you did not do what you had conviction in. So do what you had conviction in, and if it didn't turn out fine, then you'll curse yourself, I should have thought better. But what happens if you take anyone else's advice, you do it, and that doesn't work out, and you get the boot, and then you keep saying, this was never my idea, yaar. I should have, then you might as well should have done what you believed in, and then got the boot. Fine. Why did you get the boot? Because you heard everyone else, and then you got so confused that you made a khichdi and you did something which you didn't believe in. So that's why I take the thing. And a former India captain once told me that because you were analyzing Dhoni's captaincy, and sometimes while analyzing, I would feel that why is he being stubborn in certain places? Why is he? So that's fine. He knows that, it's his neck on the line. He's putting it. So it's not that he's being stubborn to prove you and me wrong. It doesn't care about what you, me, or anyone. He only cares about his neck, which is on the line. At the end of the day, he's not going to get extra praises for proving us wrong, or get abuses for proving you wrong. He knows, if I win, taliyan, if I lose, abuses, galiyan. Exactly. So same cheese. So he believed in what he believed, went on with it. So all young captains should do it, and that's why I think that these young captains do that.
Yep. Ashish there, Gaba 21, Edgbaston 25 won without Bumrah. Yeah. Turning point, second new ball, England.
What is he trying to say?
That all iconic moments have been won without Bumrah.
Rest him now. Is that what he's trying?
See, that Rishabh Pant stat I'm reminded of.
No century in winning cause.
Yeah. Yes. But I scored 2 centuries, you lost. It's like that only, na? It's on those lines.
way, it has. I think Bumrah, barring 2018, he's never won a series anywhere else, right? In the Sena. Barring 2018 Australia. He's not won any.
Played in the 2021
No, he played
BGT.
2021 also.
But only one match, na?
He played three matches.
Two matches.
He
He
didn't
played
play
the
the
first
last
match,
match.
second and third, all three.
He didn't play Gabba.
Yeah, but iconic he didn't play in that. Yeah.
But he still, yeah.
He was part of the
How
squad,
can you
yeah.
take the series away from...
Two matches. But apart from that, they didn't win in New Zealand, they have not won in England yet.
South Africa was a draw this time, so he was there.
He was
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Chinmay Joshi has a comment
And
that
wait, the second part is why pink
Yeah.
ball test happens only in Australia.
because if they happen in England, their batters, they won't be
Timing.
able to survive.
Timing. Broadcast timing. Although West Indies is going to host a pink ball test.
England have actually had a couple of pink ball matches. One was against West Indies, I think,
That's
and
it.
that was a Stuart Broad match.
Birmingham, right here.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had that pink ball test. But then West Indies, the third test is going to be a pink ball game.
Oh, Australia, West Indies.
Yes. Jamaica.
Oh, nice.
Yes. But
At Sabina Park.
Yeah.
Memories of what had happened. Oh no, that wasn't a pink ball test though. The 7-wicket haul you saw from Shamar.
No, that was a pink
That
ball
was
test
a-
match.
That was a pink
It
ball
was a
match.
pink ball, but it was in
I
Brisbane.
I briefly got confused.
No,
Yeah,
it was pink ball, but in Gabba.
Gabba,
That's the
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
Oh, but West Indies test match at pink ball. Oof.
That spell of his that wicket of head, I still don't forget. Pinpoint your
Head got out for a pair in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chinmay Joshi.
As much as I would love to see Shubman Gill do well, would still want Don Bradman on top of that list.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
remarkable how long that has survived.
That is true.
5 years.
That is true, Chinmay. I know. But won't you love to see an Indian on top of that list? But I agree that somewhere with that 99 average, it's only fair that that man gets to be on top, right?
99.9.
Like imagine you finish your test career with 44 average or 40 average or 42, but you have the record. But the guy with 99,
He needed just 4 runs to get to 100.
I know.
Yeah. So many records of Bradman haven't broken. 3 in fact. Most runs in a series, which could be in threat now. Most runs in a day. 300. No one has come anywhere close to that. Sehwag came close to 293 in one day. Modern bats, flat pitches.
Yeah.
Bradman 300 in a day. I'll do it.
Bradman's philosophy in those days used to be what I hear from people was that in those days when Test cricket was about survival, is somebody. I was listening to some cricketer who met Bradman and asked him for advice. He said, "What should I?" He said, "Just always look to score runs. That's what your job is. Not job is to stand there and defend the ball. Just look to score runs." So that is what Bradman was doing at that time. That every ball is looking, how can I score? Watch like something like Virat does in ODI cricket, right?
Yeah.
Every time looking for an opportunity. That's what Bradman was doing in Test cricket.
Correct. Soumya Dasgupta. Really like the fact that Siraj is always beside his fellow fast bowlers taking a leadership role. Yeah. He's the leader of the attack in Bumrah's absence.
And what I love about Siraj, the other thing that I was noticing is that how much he enjoys the success of others as well. Yeah, he was so happy when. Did you hear that when he was telling कि wide डालता हूँ so that AkashDeep can get a
6-5 wicket.
or something like that. He said नहीं डाल लो normal something. And he celebrates also like catches while fielding, diving for the other bowlers.
He had
trying to get
dive
wickets
over
for
a
them.
Pile of sawdust. to
Sawdust
save
as
her.
well.
Yeah. Team guy, DSP Dillo. Yeah. Ashish, the AkashDeep looks somewhat similar to Sid G. Yes.
Who? AkashDeep loser.
Sid G.
AkashDeep. Where up?
IPL it was Namandhir, I think. Namandhir or Ramandeep?
When he had
Ramandeep.
joined, then people thought he's Rashid Khan.
He'll have to wear a pug to show us if he looks like Arshdeep or not.
You have to kind of crop your
And
hair.
you have more facial hair than Arshdeep.
Akash. And yeah, AkashDeep. And even AkashDeep, your hairstyle is different in that sense.
Well, how do you... I'm just trying to think if there is any resemblance.
He's got a close resemblance to Rashid Khan.
Let's
Everybody
see.
calls
Let's
him-
get a AkashDeep picture there.
No.
नहीं यार नहीं. दाढ़ी है तो उसका मतलब क्या है?
Ah, yeah.
नहीं.
All Dadials can't be Gulati here.
No. Yeah, but maybe to an
All
extent
Dadials
I can
can't be
understand.
Gulati. Indeed.
Okay, Manav Kaushal, can we have a serious prediction from all of you now?
Is it going to change for you now? Because you and I had made the same scoreline.
No. You had said 3-2 to England.
No, I said 3-1.
No, I remember 3-2.
I said 3-1, clearly 3-1. Yesterday also.
No, that day I remember when I asked you, I said your is not
3-1
going to
I
be
said.
counted. 3-1 you had said. That's what.
3-1.
Acha.
In England's favour.
Acha, I don't know.
So,
No, I thought
are you
said
changing?
3-2. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think I'm going to go with Siddharth now. It's going to be 2-2.
That was my prediction as well.
Yeah.
2-2.
And I want to see one of our colleagues jump out of the window. That is the main aim.
Oh, Mr. Lakhanpal.
I still believe that rain might ensure there's one draw.
Yeah. It could be Manchester, it could be Oval. Because July you do get rain at that.
London's been up and down off late. It's been hot. There was some rain a couple of days back, I heard. But that's London.
Plus
for you.
the weather in London was raining today. Silverstone had rain today. So
Stuff, yeah. Because see, I don't know. I'll make my prediction when I see the pitch in Lords. Which way the pitches and the conditions now they start preparing. I want to see that. So give me some time.
2-2 for me.
I'll just stick with 2-2.
And I'm going to go with you both now. 2-2.
Dex says, I have sent a question in normal chat. Arey Dex, you could
You could have just sent the question here.
Dex.
Maybe longer question it must be.
Yeah,
Some
must be,
character
yeah.
constraint.
Singularity saying Bumrah for Prasidh and Kuldeep for Jadeja. That'll send some message to England that we are coming for you with all the guns. Plus, London's going to be 30 plus. London's very hot. I've been watching all the stars in Wimbledon.
Indians are used to playing in plus 40. So
No, but
not a
that,
big
that
deal.
also means that conditions will not be very good
Plus
for fast
30
bowling.
in London means it's close to feeling like
Well,
40.
Yeah.
Wimbledon opening day was record hot. It was 30.1.
No, you can see the audiences there in Wimbledon sitting with those fans.
There's a heat rule this time.
There's a heat rule.
I know heat rule is there. And then I was watching that Alcaraz match where a spectator collapsed.
Collapse.
Yeah,
No,
the
don't
way he
think that
went
30
and
is
off-
pleasant. It feels like 40.
Very hot.
Yeah, it's stinging.
Stinging, yeah.
But yeah, those are good suggestions. I mean, we were all backing for those things to have happened. But then maybe in Lords they make changes.
What wrong did Jaddu do here, Bichara?
I think with the ball he has been underwhelming. That's the point.
But with bat, this time he got you runs.
I think
He
it
got you 250s.
Yeah,
Vital runs.
156
Both of them.
runs, you're just going to discount like that. ठीक है.
Okay, quickly running through the questions.
Shubham Garg, somewhere England has to end the rope for Crawley. Crawley drive gets caught a story every innings. Get Pope to open, Bethel at 3, something to change.
I mean, I said at the start of the series that Crawley was the one player I didn't.
Although he's got a surprisingly
Fear.
good record against Bumrah. Surprisingly. Yeah. Shubham Garg, on team selection, same 2021 script is repeating. VK endured not playing Ash abuse. India won 2 tests. 1 drew due to rain, which India was in win position. Trent Bridge. Yeah, India could have won.
209 and they were 50 odd for 1. Yeah.
Yeah, 259 they needed, 50 for 2 or something.
209 and 50 odd for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dex, I will take your comment, my friend. Ashish Dar, what great Don would have done to ensure average of 100?
Not get out for 0 in his
Yeah,
final innings.
final
That's all he needed to do. Nothing else.
He needed 4 runs. That's it.
Yeah, he got out for a 0. Sadly. Okay, last question. It better be Dex.
Yeah.
Come on, Shashwat. Then Dex has sent 2 chats to say that please take my question in some other chat which we cannot find. I mean, Dex, if you were here, I would have strangled you.
Yes.
Really strangled you with my bare hands.
Yeah. Dex. Is it gone?
control left, na, Sasha?
No, I don't think
I don't think that will work.
that'll work in this.
It works.
It works?
Yes.
Dex. Okay.
There. Should Mulder break Lara's record?
If he gets it near tomorrow, I think he should not, because it's Zimbabwe. If he breaks Amla's record of 311, then after that, he should declare the innings like Warner. Wow, I think he is aiming for some South African record. Just see, what is the scoreline?
Yeah, I'm just seeing that.
And by the way, Stark Hazelwood destroying West Indies.
What's
Was that
new?
ever in doubt?
Vian Mulder is not out on 264.
Oh. So he's targeting Smith's record of 277, ABD 278, Hashim 311. Then after that, it's only
Viru.
I mean, after Hashim 311, Viru 319, Yunus 320, Inzaman 329, Warner 335, Clark 334. No, Clark also 329. He didn't want to go past Bradman. No milestones for me. I'll declare might. And he handed India shellacking. Yes. Mulder. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see if he's playing for milestones and if South Africa think they're winning. Let's see.
On that note, thank you very much, ladies and gents. Have a good night. Sleep really well.
No Monday blues for tomorrow.
Yeah, everyone will have a sweet sleep after this win. We'll be back tomorrow on Sports Today. Plenty more content for you to check out on the channel already, including an exclusive with Mr. Gavaskar from Edgbaston. Here his thoughts, some interesting thoughts he shared on Shubman Gill, Akash Deep, Siraj, and what he thinks will be the series scoreline from here on. So enjoy that. From all of us here, bye-bye, good night, Nandri, Vadakkam,
Shubhratri, Shabba Khair.
Eat your vegetables. Don't trouble your mother.
You want to complete? Shashwat says don't trouble your mother.
Stay safe and subscribe to Sports.
Shashwat, I told him sit here, didn't want to sit because you guys go after him. So he said, no, I'll not sit. So till you don't apologize to him, he's not going to come back.
Apologies, Shashwat.
And not you.
Oh, the family members. Okay.
You also troll him, or?
Of course, we all troll him.
That is the guilty.
What do we all troll him? Shashwat? When...
exactly.
भागते चोर की लंगोटी से